What's up, everybody? What's up? And everything together here. Man, welcome to the KMaccTalks network. This is, it's not the KMaccTalks network. It's just a channel. It's just a YouTube channel. I'm not like the Joe Budden network. Not a network yet. I can't say that. That's my dreams for it to be an actual network. But so far it's just a YouTube channel. So it's the KMaccTalks YouTube channel. The only place where you can find KMac talking. I am Kevin KMacC and this is episode 1 of the Forced to Chill podcast. I'm going to go live today and just, I want to talk about the Joe Budden podcast Breakup. It's just so juicy, so much to unpack there, so much tea to spill. That was exciting. I don't know if you guys got to see or listen to the full audio. I don't know. I didn't get to see the actual YouTube video of it. I heard the full audio though. Every minute of that, every second of that 2.5 hours was just, you were on the edge of your seat. That was incredible. So I just wanted to unpack that in the first day here, go live. I want these to be a little longer than the Red Sox start at 7:10. We're at about 6:40 right now. I want to maybe do 45 minutes. We'll see how it goes. But I'd like these to be the Forced to Chill podcast. I'm going to try to get my my co-host here. I'm going to try to get my friend Sean, S Daddy, S Pimp. We call him. He goes by many names. But Dynamite Diggums, he goes by many things. Shah. I'm going to try to get him as my co-host and try to get the Forced to Chill podcast to a bigger audience. Try to get it to a big podcast. That is. So we'll start there. I mean, Joe Budden podcast, I've been there forever. That's how I'm basing this channel after. I want the Forced to Chill podcast to be like the Joe Budden podcast. And Joe Budden has made it the Joe Budden network and has other podcasts under his network. That's the dream for my channel and everything, to have the KMaccTalks, channel here become a network, and the Forced to Chill podcast with me and hopefully Sean will be our big one, hopefully. But then we have other shows going on. I'm going to be starting a crime series on there where, I talk, crazy murders, insane stories. I watch true crime all day long. So I don't want to do necessarily prison YouTubing, even though I have been gone to county 3 times, one prison camp for 30 days, spent about 9 months in county. But I don't want to be a prison YouTuber, but I do want to do crime, serial killer stuff, murder mysteries. Watch that all day. So I want to do other shows under the KMaccTalks network. But this is episode 1 of Forced to Chill. And so that's a good way to start. I've been with Joe Budden podcast since the beginning. He's one of my favorite rappers. Loved him as a rapper for many years. I'm an emo kid. Always listened to emo. Punk rock. I liked the acoustic. I liked the Dashboard Confessional. The more crying, sad shit, the better. And Joe Budden embodied that in rap better than Drake or anyone. Joe Budden was the emo rapper, the emotional rapper. He made mood music, 5 mood musics. He was an emo rapper to me. And he embodied love, relationships, breakup, like that in his music. He embodied that better than anyone. Depression, addiction. So I loved him as a rapper. I always followed the podcast from the beginning. So this is a big deal, this breakup, in my life. So I knew I had to talk about it. I gotta get that watermelon monster, guys. Where to begin? So, I mean, you can look back in the history on this channel of how I felt about the co-hosts. Mal and Rory. I've always thought that Joe Budden could just do way better than those two guys, you know? Like when you go to that show, who do you go there for? Sorry. Who do you go to watch that podcast? Sorry. We have real OCD with my cap here. I wish I had like one look like the Amiri dad hat that Joe Budden has. That's what I should have worn, a dad hat for this, and that's my mistake. But you go to watch for Joe Budden. That's it. You know, I mean, but I think if he had two entertaining co-hosts, it would be better. You know, yeah, you go there. Joe's the star of the show, but you need two good supporting guys would make the show even better. I thought I've always never liked either of them. You know, neither. Like Mal doesn't say barely anything. He sounds like he's half asleep when he does. Like he's like no energy really. It just sounds so boring and monotone and just I agree. That's this so. And just always never like was vulnerable. Always had to be a manly man. Like, you know, I never do anything weird or funny or anything. I just get girls all the time and always have a girl. And he just wasn't like funny. He didn't crack jokes. He didn't do anything good. He seemed insecure, and Rory even more insecure. Like I didn't think people said they liked his one-liners. I didn't think he cracked any jokes, or his was more, you know, he actually talked, but none of his opinions were pointless, useless. I just didn't care for his opinions. They just seemed to agree with what was going on. I don't know. I just never was that. Like, I'm going for a hip hop, you know, opinion of Rory. Like, I don't know. It just was like, why? He never seemed like a hip hop head or someone that really was into it or knew a lot about it. It was never just someone that I respected a hip hop opinion from. Never someone I wanted a hip hop opinion from. You know, I know people don't want my hip hop opinion, but I don't know. I mean, at least I feel like I would be a little funnier and more entertaining on the damn show. Do something different. Say something. Bring some original ideas. Some, like, I don't know. They just didn't contribute much. They were just dead weight. One barely talked unless Mom barely talked unless it was Rick Ross, how much he loved Rick Ross or Drake or something. And that's it. He loved him some Rick Ross. He'll talk about that. But besides that, he never said it. And Rory just pointless opinions. Like, I'm going to go to, I really care what Rory has to say about the new fucking, whatever, Griselda album. Like, why would I care what Rory has to say about the Griselda album? Like, just that, I don't know. They were always dead weight to me, and he could always do better. And when he had Ice and Ish on there, it seemed like that was the way to go. I mean, they actually said some things. Ice there, I like Ice. It seems, I really like kind of the way he goes with it, talks about things. They seem unbiased, like they actually speak clearly and with some energy. They're not just some monotone, like, yeah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, I would respect their opinions a little more. Rory just was never funny to me. Never had a fresh idea, opinion, joke. Neither of them. So honestly, I mean, I'm really happy with this. I think it's only going to make the show better. Yeah, it's an era, you know, they've been there forever, but who cares? You know, let's move on. Let's get these new Ice and Ish. If it's going to be them, I think it'll be better there. Like, I mean, at least the Breakfast Club, they say that's the Charlemagne show. At least, like, DJ Envy is funny with Charlemagne, and they say funny shit, and Angela Yee's got some slick one-liner, and you respect their opinions. Like, so that's at least more of a teamwork. This has always felt like it was just Joe Budden with two other guys there just to fill up chairs. Parks was the best one. So Parks, he's got a hilarious Parks on the board. It's hilarious. It's Parks. His ad lib or name things are hilarious. But it's always felt like those two just took up space, and really, like, I just didn't care about their opinions or want to hear them. And like Rory would always be like, want to sound so much more intellectual. He'd be like, well, obviously, obviously that album was the best. It's all that thing he always did at the end. I'm like, oh my God, it drives me wild. So I'm really happy about this. I didn't think he'd air them out that as crazy as he did. He aired them out. That was like, that must have felt like he lost weight after he aired them like that. He got a lot off his chest there. So it was interesting to see. I thought they were going to try to like sue him. So that's why they took it down. But they just put it on Patreon, I guess. So you have to pay to see it, even though everyone's getting the audio version for free. But I might join the Patreon just to always have that thing, because that was, man, he did not go light on him. That's the one thing. Joe Budden does not tiptoe around it when he wants to. When he wants to get straight to the point and tell it, he gets straight to the point and tells it. So I'm happy with it. I couldn't be too much happier than what I am. Yeah, it's just, I think we can get some more energy in there. Like he said, that was dark energy, and like I'm excited for the future of that. Honestly, they should have him. They should put academics in there. As much as sometimes I don't like academics is entertaining. If they put academics on that couch with Joe and freaking Wayno, would be great. Wayno, academics, and Joe. That would be such an incredible. Tell me now, that's a podcast. That's a fucking podcast right there. That is a podcast. So that's just that's exciting news. Had to talk about that. Had to discuss that. What else we got? Really, it's sports. I've got to talk about the Celtics. Celtics are in the play-in game. Haven't won a game since I think we won in 1997 last. I'm pretty sure we beat the New York Knickerbockers, they were called then. No, man, we can't win a damn game if we freaking, oh my God, we lost by 8 to the Cavs last night. That's how bad it is. It's just bad. It's bad and getting badder. Like it's just getting worse and worse. And did I just make it fuzzy? It just seemed second at the sick, backdrop. I'm trying to. This is kind of just, to break the rust off. I've been gone for a while, going through depression and just like, where am I going with this channel? What am I doing? And so now I'm finally back and just feeling good about everything. Just trying some things out, trying to figure out what exactly I want to bring a podcast to you. I want to bring a couple of crime series, talk some other things on here, but I just want to keep bringing content is really all it is. I just want to keep bringing content to you because that makes me happy. And in the end, I just want to do what makes me happy, and I'm not satisfied with just the working 9 to 5 regular life. I don't care if I go nowhere with this podcast or channel. It makes me feel good. So, no one else wants to talk about the Joe Budden podcast Breakup. I'll just talk to myself on here and maybe people could listen later. That's all it is, man. Because that was to go back to it, like the whole like ta-da when he'd yell and the yelling, my friends, and the yelling, like, oh my God. Imagine I would pay money to see, just to get to watch Rory watched that episode. Like Rory must have been getting beat red too, and how he looks around like that, like a psycho when he's mad and insecure. That's what I would hate on the show too. You'd see him like kind of looking around, and freaking he gets so red if he was ever embarrassed. It was just so insecure. That one episode where Joe Budden's a few episodes before they went on their first breakup, and Joe's like, Rory, why don't you have an opinion besides mine? All you do is add on to my opinion. Once I say an opinion, then you say an opinion after mine. You never have an original opinion. You just go off of mine. Why don't you have an original opinion and stuff? And he got all mad and everything, and was like, oh, every time after that, Joe Budden said something, and you'd be like, okay, podcast's over. We can't say anything after Joe. We can't say anything original or something. Podcast's over. And he was like, bicker like a child. I'm so happy he's gone, but I'd just pay to watch him get red and watch that episode and look around. Man, I wonder if his girlfriend actually is leaving him like Academic says she is. I'd really like to know that, if his fiance, he was engaged. So I don't know if he's still engaged or what's going on, but Academic says his girlfriend's leaving him, so I'm very curious if that's reality or not. Anyways. Okay, here we go. There we go, guys. Hello. Mic check 1 2. Line 2, what is this? Okay, there we go. That should have boosted up the audio. Yeah, like his life, like that was so stupid for them to like feel weird. I don't know what was the books, but I'm sure they were getting paid well, more than a lot of us can ever imagine. I'm sure more than any of our labor jobs that we work 50, 60 hours of work, construction sites, laboring, and you still probably don't make as much as Rory and Mal were making for sitting down 2 times a week for 3 hours, 6 hours work total, twice a week. They get to sit down for 3 hours on a couch and talk about hip hop and pop culture. And they're complaining that they don't get paid enough. Are you serious? You're complaining you don't get paid enough for sitting on a chair and talking for 3 hours twice a week? You're complaining you don't get paid enough. I would assume you get paid in the 6 figures in a year annually. I'd assume you make at least $100,000 a year. Like that's a very low. I guarantee he was paying you pretty darn. You had to be making a couple hundred. I don't know. I would say you think they had to be making $250,000 a year to $500,000 a year. I mean, they got to be making a good amount a year, and that's for talking for 6 hours a week total, sitting in a chair and talking about hip hop stuff we all do for free, and they're complaining they don't get paid enough. So I don't care. Like I would, if I was in their position, I'd just be so happy to be there. I just tried to be funny, as like Joe said. Why didn't you make your own YouTube page? If he offered the clips open, you can make a YouTube page, put the clips on there, and you're making your own money for your own YouTube page because you're a celebrity or whatever. People are going to go to it. You're going to make money. Like, why wouldn't you make your own YouTube page? Why wouldn't, like he said, Mal, come up with a fashion show? I'd be pitching him show ideas for me all the time. I review movies. I review fucking sports. I want a sports show. I want a crime series. I want a freaking everything I'm trying to do on here. A funny cooking show. I mean, I want to do all these things. I'd be trying to do all that if he's willing to do that. I mean, I'd just be so grateful to be there along for the ride, to be getting paid to just talk shit with my friends. Who cares? I mean, my God, even if you are getting paid $100,000 a year, you're still just talking to your friends And that's, my God, people do 60 hours a week of laboring, construction work, backbreaking work for their entire lives and don't make that much. And you're complaining about how much you make for sitting down and talking. So I don't feel bad for them at all. Hey, let's see if they think they were, if they were the life support and the show's gonna tank now. If they think they were so important, they should be able to start their own podcast then and be successful. So they should be fine then. If they were such important pieces, they should be fine. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm not bitter. I sound bitter and sound hating. Like I used to hate on Maul a lot because I never thought he had good opinions and he was just so insecure. Joe would talk about relationship, female stuff, and he'd always just make sure he sounded so good. Like he was just the best in bed, the best dude, had all the girls, all that shit. He always had to make himself sound so fucking good. And it's like, okay, dude, whatever. You do you. So I'm trying to, this is this first time on the backdrop with everything. I'm trying to, this is my new set. This is perfect here for my, I'm going to be doing these, like I said, the crime series. I really like this. What do you guys think of this backdrop? Just, I don't know. Yeah, that's the winner. So yeah, man, I used to, it sounds like I'm hating, but yeah, Maul never said anything to me, never had any opinions. His big opinion I always remember is how much he just loved fucking Rick Ross. Anytime Rick Ross is mentioned, he certainly had a lot to say. But besides that, it's like, never had nothing to say. I mean, what? Why is he there? He never contributed anything. He didn't have a boisterous, his talking put you to sleep. It was just one sound level just the whole time. Never contributed anything to me. And Rory either. Who wants Rory's opinion on these? I mean, I don't know. Just like he seems like a tech geek nerd white kid. He just, I don't know. What a freaking ginger white kid's hip hop opinion. Maybe I'm hating there, but I just feel like, yeah, they could have done so much more with that opportunity. They were handed this opportunity. They're Joe Budden's friends. They're handed an opportunity like this, and they don't run with it, and they're not that appreciative of it. Just like appreciative as fuck. Forget fucking caring how much you get paid. Just be appreciative, and maybe you would have got ownership, like Joe had said. You would have got ownership later if you just were patient. I'm just so I have no bad feelings for them. If they think they're important, like I said, they should be able to start a show. I look forward to not watching it. Look forward to, that'd be a snooze fest. Imagine their podcast together. That'd be such a snooze fest. Maul and Rory's a sidekick. For sure. He is not a main guy. He's a sidekick. He was perfect being Joe's sidekick because Joe is the main show. Rory is a sidekick. He's for ad libs. He's not doing the verse. He's for ad libs. And also, wasn't he trying to make an album? What are you, crazy? What is your album? Please tell me you're not rapping or anything. Please, maybe you're producing, but who's listening to that album? Who are you going to get on it? Anyways, yeah, Rory's a perfect sidekick, doing the ad libs, the hype man, whatever, to the main show. He's not carrying being the main guy. He's not that, and Maul certainly isn't. Maul is maybe a sidekick at best with his little monotone, boring voice. So that'd be such a snooze fest. There's nothing they could do unless they get a main guy, who actually has emotion, feeling, and original opinions that people care about, and yeah, just has any opinions on anything really. Just some joke, something. So I don't know. Yeah, and we'll see what happens with them. I wish them the best. Like, they ruined their life. Rory was so insecure about what academics was saying and let it bother him so much. He acted like he didn't, but he let it bother him so much. He dropped off the car.